What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're here for a brand new Madden 25 rebuild, an off-season rebuild, where we're going to be rebuilding every team from the fallout of the 2025 NFL Draft. These rebuilds are going to be at minimum of 5 seasons, maximum of 10. Usually rebuilds, you go 5 years. If you don't win a Super Bowl by the end of those 5 years, it's an L. We'll take the L if we can't get it done within 5, but we always will extend it into overtime to try and get those Jag fans at home a happy ending at the end of the day. And it is time for a Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild. We rebuilt the Cleveland Browns with Shedeur Sanders in that situation. And I think the next most interesting team is a team that I'm strongly considering being our main channel franchise in Madden 26, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's so many questions about this team going forward. There's so many uncertainties about this team going forward, and I think ultimately the fact that they went out and drafted the most dynamic and or polarizing player in the entirety of the 2025 NFL draft class, and then by doing so gave up a future first round pick that I'm not going to have, that's going to make it a little bit more challenging. They went out and got Travis Hunter. Now, when I first started doing my regular realistic rebuild series a couple months ago, I had this as our landing spot. I've already technically done a Travis Hunter Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild, but in that video, we started with him at corner, and then we eventually moved him to wide receiver. Our whole thought process in that was we're going to go where the weakness is. With the emergence of Brian Thomas Jr., it became kind of obvious that they needed desperate help at corner. You could still probably make the argument they might need that. You'd like to think Tyson Campbell can bounce back on the outside. You get Jordan Lewis, a really solid, reliable nickel corner, but you don't really have another outside guy. So, if you're kind of weighing where Travis Hunter might bring the most value year one to the Jags, it is at corner. But the last time I did this rebuild, I started him at corner for a couple years, and then we finished him out at wide receiver. I'm going to go on the inverse. We're going to start him at wide out and see if he can make a dynamic tandem with the very talented Brian Thomas Jr. And I like to think, with this kind of being a thing, that one of the back-of-the-box features in Madden 26 is going to be like that ultimate customization of your depth chart, where you could have a two-way player. I almost guarantee that's what's going to happen, because that's literally what people are going to say. It's like, hey, is Travis Hunter going to be able to play both offense and defense? So I imagine they're going to let you get very creative with your depth chart, which is something that's absolutely awesome. I want to be able to put anybody anywhere, if I'm being honest with you. So take a look at this Jaguars offense. I'm going to tell you right now, very surprising that ETN still has a superstar dev, and Brian Thomas doesn't. I think after his rookie campaign, Brian Thomas Jr. should probably be superstar. What he was able to do on a very limited team, becoming the guy, I think that was as impressive as any other of the rookies, the Brock Bowers and the Malik Neighbors of the world. I get it. He's in Jacksonville. It's not as in your face as the New York Giants. It's not as in your face as a record-breaking tight end, but I don't know how ETN is still a superstar, if I'm being completely honest with you. Offensive line is certainly interesting. I'm going to go with 2 rookies here. I'm going to go Monheim at a USC at center. There's not a huge discrepancy, and I feel like the fact they drafted him, I feel like Forder's not been that great, so we'll go with the young buck here. We also have Millam at right guard, who, with the trade up and stuff like that, Jags didn't have a super deep draft class from 2025. So I think we got to utilize what we got, and we're going to go with the rookie Millam at guard here, bring some guard tackle flexibility. But I am definitely concerned about the future of this offensive line. I think there's work that needs to be done. I don't know if Strange is going to be our long-term tight end. That might be another position that needs some TLC. I'd like to think with the wide receiver core, especially with Travis Hunter there, is going to be able to figure it out. I'd love to see Gabe Davis give us some more return on investment from the big free agency contract they got to poach him away from the Buffalo Bills. Probably not going to pay ETN. You got Bigsby. You got Bayshaw Tootin, who is going to be, this is why I'm considering them as a main channel franchise candidate for Madden 26. A 5'11", 210-pound running back with 95 speed, 97 acceleration. That is something that I'm about, okay? I would love to be able to utilize that a little bit. So I think we got to find a little bit of clarity to the running back room, but we got options. But the biggest question outside of how Travis Hunter is going to be deployed is, can you save and revive the career of Trevor Lawrence? That was Doug Peterson's job. Taking over for the shit show that was the Urban Meyer-led Jags. Didn't really work out. I like to think Press Taylor had something to do with that. So you bring in Liam Cohen, who had success kind of continuing and improving the revitalization of Baker Mayfield's career. So I think there's maybe some similarities there between Baker's success and Trevor Lawrence's success. I think you look at the skill position players on that Bucs team where they had two clear-cut ballers at wide receiver and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. That's why I think Travis Hunter is going to be viewed as a wide receiver first, even if he's both wide receiver first, because you think you might be able to get a little bit of that out of Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. So the weapons are there for the most part. I think we need to help him a little bit on the offensive line as we go into this rebuild, but that's going to be my plan, is to try to save and salvage the career of Trevor Lawrence. Once upon a time was considered in the discussion for the greatest quarterback prospect leaving college, and then now it's been a mixed bag. Sometimes he's shown flashes, other times he's looked like a completely benchable player. On the defense is weird. They have their coordinators coming from Green Bay. Like right now our offense is going to be Tampa Bay because of Liam Cohen, and our defense, they got a dude from Green Bay. Green Bay ran a 3-4. Then I did a little Googling, and it said it's going to be a primarily 4-3 defense with some 3-4 sprinkled in. So this is going to be our front right now. X Factor and Josh Hines-Allen in the interior of the D-line. Solid, probably not great long-term unless maybe Hamilton can pop a dev trait. Travon Walker is starting to figure it out, which is great for Jags fans. Still don't agree with them selecting him over Aiden Hutchinson, but you're starting to slowly get some return on investment on a guy that was drafted as a freak athlete with traits. He's putting it together. I'd say stylistically, you're getting a guy come from Green Bay. He could, be the Rashawn Gary of this defense, which would be huge. Linebacker core is not bad. Devin Lloyd and Muma. You got Olakun at superstar. Now he's pretty much at his ceiling, which is unfortunate. But I'd love for Muma to get a dev trade, and then we can kind of go with him and Lloyd as the long-term options. Into the secondary, we just talked about, we need Tyson Campbell to kind of bounce back. Felt like maybe 2 years ago, he looked like one of the best young corners in football. Don't know if it's been injuries or what have you. You got Jordan Lewis coming over from the Cowboys, solid nickel. Jarian Jones, who was on the receiving end of the Saquon Barkley reverse jump. But there's still a player in there, and hopefully he can maybe pop a dev trait, get everyone to forget about that meme. You got Darnell Savage, who was one of my favorite players when he was coming into Maryland. He's kind of bounced around a little bit, but familiarity coming from Green Bay with a guy that worked in Green Bay. And I'm going to go with Ransaw, the rookie here at strong safety, just off of traits alone. Gives up a couple spots off the base rating there from a scheme fit standpoint, but just outstanding athlete. One of the fastest players in the draft class. 96 speed, 97 acceleration. So with a guy with that kind of starting point, let's see if he can make the most of his opportunity with us throwing him to the Wolves and having him start, and maybe, just maybe, high ceiling. Let's see if Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence can get on the same page here. Can you guys get one-on-one? Can we get ourselves a gold medal? Who's number 3? Tyson Campbell, one-on-one. I mean, it'd be so cool, Travis Hunter, just be like, I'm going to play both these. Like, literally just one rep and then go play DB for another rep, and that's how you can get your gold medal. That's why I hate that about this drill. Just every now and again, for whatever reason, they're just going to sail it out of the stadium. It's very frustrating. Don't know if that will cost us the gold medal. But, I mean, the debate around Travis Hunter, and I've kind of had about it talking about the draft, is like if he wants to play two positions, I feel like he has to do the opposite of what we're doing here. He has to play corner and then just have a couple packages at wide receiver. Maybe that will be the plan, but I also, like, if I'm his agent, I'm like, hey, that's tough. You bastard. I'd be like, hey, wide receivers get paid more. I would just be wide receiver. Over the regular season with the Battle of Florida on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Let's see if we can force feed Travis Hunter in this season opener. Pass. Let's see if he can get a little shake and wiggle on this route. Oh, it's a little separation, and there we go. First catch, and there is great blocking downfield. Brenton Strange at number 12, 54 yards for his first career reception. Jesus, man, turn some lights on there in Miami. Here going the goal line. He is our primary read. Also could potentially have enough time to get to our second option, which would be Brian Thomas. But we just want to fire it in. Boom! Ooh, protects himself. Jalen Ramsey doesn't take his head off. And that is an opening drive tutty for Travis Hunter. Coach wants to go for it on fourth down, opening drive. Liam Cohen. Everyone memeing him for Duval. So he wants to just shove it right in their goddamn faces. And that's what we're going to try to do here. Travis Hunter at the sticks on fourth down, remaining aggressive. Play again here. Same play. Travis Hunter worked last time in the red zone. He's not letting us get the huge explosive plays. I'll have to take the check down here to Mr. Gabe Davis. Don't love throwing on the run, but Brad Thomas, boom, on the outside. Just pick it on a wash, Jalen Ramsey. Throwing it on the one. Works. Man, we got Trevor Lawrence. Like the Terminator, locked and loaded, ready to go. Focus. T1000. His defense is stickler. They're making us have to nickel and dime him. I mean, they still have Jalen Ramsey, even though I'm picking on him. He's between the 20s, doing a pretty good job. We're going to float this here to Brian Thomas and get him in the end zone again. A hat trick of passing touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence to start the rebuild. That was it. Couldn't find the end zone again, but 21-3, that is a hell of a road victory and 1-0 in the Liam Cohen, Travis Hunter era. We followed up week 2 when they went over the Browns. Expected, but a player of the week performance for Trevor Lawrence. He's getting an immediate bump up in his play with a brand new play caller. Exactly what you want to see. Then we just took down one of the big dogs in the AFC. Just 3 in a row to start the year, beating the Bills. So the good and bad. The good is we're 6-3, which is, I honestly thought the record was about to be inversed and we'd be 3-6 at this point. The bad news is that we were 6-1, beating up teams outside of probably the Bills, which I think was a really, really nice win, that I think the Jags will be competitive against. Now that we're getting into like the bulk here, we got 4 playoff teams in a row before the bye. We start that 0-2, losing to Green Bay and Philly. Looking at our contracts and our salary cap situation, $21 million remaining. ETN wasn't really going to be in my plans anyway, so that's good. But Devin Lloyd was. And, I mean, I guess full disclosure here, he is currently getting an edge rush market rate. Let's correctly make him an off-ball linebacker. It's still going to be expensive. I don't know if we can afford it. 4 years, 37. I mean, 31. He should be still pretty good at 31. That's something like that. 5-year, 56. Probably 58. We'll get that one across the line. 58 does get it across the line. So at the end of your number 1, the Jags make the playoffs. It's probably going to be very short-lived as it's a road game against the Chiefs. But we go 9-8. We finish with a top 10 passing offense, almost a top 10 offense. Our number 1 defense in the NFL. I don't know where that came from, but we'll absolutely take that. I think remaining consistently with those defensive rankings will be a challenge. Could be a flash in the pan. But we got talent, man. Travon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen. That's a dangerous pass rush. We got pretty damn good linebackers. I think our linebackers stack up against anyone in the league. So, you know, we might got something there. Look at Trevor Lawrence, 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns to 12 picks. Maybe not a complete redemption like we saw with Baker Mayfield at his peak when Cohen left the Bucs. That's a hell of a first start. Lawrence hasn't been putting up numbers like that. I mean, where's that stacked to the last couple of years? I know last couple of years he's had injuries as well, but look, 21-14, 25-8. Like, that is his best season in the NFL. So that is optimistic. Running the football, nothing too crazy. So I'm kind of happy that ETN's not in our plans. Receiving, we have Brian Thomas Jr., 89 catches, almost 1,500 yards, and 10 touchdowns along a 97. Good God. Travis Hunter, I had him in the slot, full disclosure, 101 catches, almost 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. That should be good enough. I mean, should. He's going to be going up against some quarterbacks, but in the conversation anyways for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Travis Hunter, hidden dev, maybe you would have expected that could be an X factor, but just a superstar. That's solid. And if he gets Offensive Rookie of the Year, that could go up again, which would be a win. And honestly, without numbers for Brian Thomas, that might be good enough to get him up to a superstar dev as well, where I'm going to put the C on it. Just, I think he absolutely should be a superstar dev come Madden 26. Is that overrating him a little bit? I don't know. Let's gas up some of the young bucks. On the defensive side, Devin Lloyd, who we gave all of our remaining salary cap to, a hell of a year. 99 tackles, 7 TFLs, 5 interceptions. We got 25 sacks. A new sack king going to Josh Hines-Allen. 10.5 Travon Walker on 18 TFLs. Armstead was solid, but holy shit. Interception numbers not bad either. I did not see that coming. He sure does. 25 sacks, breaking the old record by, what's the old record, 23? 22? I'll tell you right now, the new record's 25. And we get Josh Hines-Allen clearly running away with Defensive Player of the Year voting, and Travis Hunter wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. The first round of the playoff, you don't want to see the Chiefs at any point, let alone in the first round. But we got some magic on this team. But not that good. We got our coach poached. Awesome. I mean, it was close. But was it? Number one defense. Shocked at how good. And then we still let Mahomes get 5 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence didn't help at all with the 2 picks. Gabe Davis stepped up. Travis Hunter, at least 69 nice yards and a touchdown. Brian Thomas got shut down, which is very disappointing. Josh Hines Allen, at least, gets his 2 TFLs and a sack on the day, but you can't let Mahomes go for 5 touchdowns, no picks, if you're the number 1 defense in the NFL. Unacceptable. An absolute shocker of a Super Bowl champion. Shocker. Looks like now, looking at the dev traits, kind of a good roll. We let Etienne walk. He loses his superstar. Brian Thomas has an outstanding season, leading the league in receiving yards, and gets a superstar dev trait. So that's a win. Trevor Lawrence is almost an 80, so that's, 4 overall points worth of growth. That's progress in the right direction. Not as crazy as I've seen in a single season, but we're getting there. Millum is up to a 75, so he looks like he could be a long-term starter. So that's all really good. On the defensive side, as far as dev traits, we lose the dev trait on Armstead, but Travon Walker goes from star up to superstar. Devin Lloyd goes from star up to superstar. Unfortunately, we lose the superstar on Olakun. We lose the star dev on Darnell Savage. We gain a star dev on Jordan Lewis, and we gain somehow a superstar dev. This is probably the most undeserving one, but we will take it on Tyson Campbell. Some pretty big names that hit free agency, but with only $30 million to our name, I want to be aggressive. I don't think our team is this good to have that little salary cap at the end of year 1. However, I think we got to get this salary cap sorted out. So that means not spending, and that means cutting costs where we can over the next couple seasons. To get to a point that maybe when this team overall looks like they could be a Super Bowl contender, then we could be aggressive in free agency. It would be kind of cool to, I don't know how likely Aiden Hutchinson hitting free agency would be realistic. You can always run that one back. The what if we went Aiden Hutchinson, exposed Travon Walker. Why not have both on the defense? So take a look at the final mock draft. Our needs, my focus scout was tackle. I think left tackle, all respect to Walker Little. We need like a franchise tackle, right? If this is going to be like our new look offense. So looking at where guys are going, unfortunately, because we made the playoffs, we're picking at 19. And we're losing out on a lot of the top tackles. Maui Goa, Isaiah World, Caden Proctor, who we used in our first offseason rebuild with the Browns. We knew he was a beast. He was a superstar dev. But we have Fano there. I mean, again, the value is just maybe not there with these types of tackles. Our other need would be D tackle. Caleb Banks of the Florida Gators. He's an absolute beast. He's going to be on the board. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's going to be trenches. So the Jags are on the clock at pick 19. The mock draft held true. Looking at our needs at tackle. Oof. Some good linemen there on the interior. We need tackles. So we got, Maui Go is still there. First, second round talent. If we weren't to go there, it would be D tackle, where we have our pick of the litter. Peter Woods, Caleb Banks, Lee Hunter, Capehart, former 5-star recruit for Clemson. But it's just like, if we wait to go tackle, are we going to get, like, if we went D tackle here, right? Peter Woods, Caleb Banks. Who would I blind pick of these two? Ooh, it looks like Peter Woods might be, honestly, a little bit safer. That's what we got to do. Because we can get by with another year of Walker Little, but we had major aggression at defensive tackle. And we don't have really anybody with any upside at defensive tackle. So we will go Peter Woods. Very surprised for him to still be on the clock at 19. He's regarded as one of the best players in next year's draft class. An absolute beast. What did we get here? I bet you he's top 15. Number 3 in true value at 19. Let's go. Look at that. 85 acceleration, 94 strength. Hell yeah. Over to the second round, we got Blake Miller from Clemson, is still a top projected tackle. At this point, we need to swing for dev traits. If I'm going to be honest with you. And we do get that. That's what we need. Not great value, but an upside, more upside than what we have at the left tackle spot. I think in the third round, we continue to trust our board. We start to see some regression out of Olokun. So we have Jason Barham, a second, third round talent. 65 at 83, and we get 3 straight dev traits to start the draft. I think with the uncertainty around our running back room, I think Katron Allen is a really, really nice value. A break tackle, B carry, B ball carry vision, elite jumping, and strength. So elite traits, 41 entry value at 91. No dev trait, but I think that rating will be pretty nice. I had to sim the rest of the draft, 5, 6, 7 rounds. Didn't love my board. Arsenal versus PSG, I forgot. Starts at 4. So the CPU hooked me up. We got 70 Julian Neal, bunch of high 60s, 70 fullback. Well, we got a freaking quarterback below that. Katron Allen, 73 normal. Barham, 72 dev trait. Blake Miller, rating not great, 68, but with that dev trait, has a nice ceiling. And I can't believe we got Peter freaking Woods at pick 19. What a steal. As we start year number 2, I saw something on Reddit that I think I need a myth bust here a little bit. Someone said, and they showed a screenshot of having Travis Hunter playing both sides of the football at wide receiver and DB. And they said that if Travis Hunter was graded out high enough as a corner, he would show up in this short list as a wide receiver. So the lowest threshold for him to make this is 67. He needs to be at least a 67 corner to show up to have him play both sides of the football. Let's myth bust this. Because when we switch him to corner, he's an 84 overall. He is our best wide receiver and best corner on this roster. It's not even an inverse thing. I can't have him at corner and show up for my wide receiver. So again, I think that is going to be very much a back-of-the-box feature in next year's Madden. Can't do it here. Maybe a mod could allow me to do it, but I'm not too sure. I do think going into year 2, that's good to know, that he is an 84. Obviously, there's a discrepancy, 6-point overall, but he is an 84 corner. So if at some point in time, we may draft like a studly wide receiver, and our corner room is as such where it's not a strength of the team, like that could be something we potentially pivot to. But I hope that Tyson Cable continues to keep that dev trait, continues to develop, and we don't really have to worry about that. But we have a lot of young bucks getting an opportunity. Peter Woods, Jason Barham, Ransaw's getting another start at strong safety, the big-time athlete. I'd love to see him potentially pop a dev trait on the offensive side. I'm going to go with the upside of Blake Miller over the pro readiness of Walker Little. I don't think there's going to be that big of a discrepancy, and hopefully that works out. We're going to go Katron Allen's at running back, taking over for Travis Etienne. We do have Tank Bigsby, but he's in a contract year. Not going to be paying a running back, I don't think, at any point in this rebuild, so we might as well go with the rookie contract guy for the next 4 years. So at midseason, we're at 500, which, you know, not expectations. We did just before the bye beat the 5-1 Colts. So maybe like we're getting a little bit of momentum. We currently have, and before the bye week, we had the #1 passing yard offense, which was pretty badass. But I think also we have Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas. That might be as good of a wide receiver 1 and 2 that exists in the NFL. So we should be able to air it out. And a lot of those numbers have, you know, our overall rankings just took a hit because we are coming off the bye week. I think we're better than that. Contracts. Well, $44 million. That's kind of been the downside of this rebuild, is that we are firmly trying to rebuild the Jacksonville Jaguars, but you got guys like Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen. They're all very well paid, very well compensated. So for a team that is in a rebuild, we do not have a rebuild amount of salary cap remaining, which is unfortunate. So we have Anton Harrison, who I'd like to keep. Maybe 453. 55 would probably keep that. And then you got Travon Walker, who it's just like, all right, blank check. 5-year, $84 million. Luckily, he wants to buy in. I do want to continue the development of Harrison. He might even be able to hit into the 80s before he's 25. Dev trade or not, there's a lot of value there, and I want to keep him in the building. So at the end of year number 2, we get the exact same record that we had in year number 1, except this time we do not get the benefit of the doubt of squeaking into the playoffs via the wild card. We are second place in the South, a loss and or 1 win, more or short, behind the Colts. Still positives. I mean, again, year 2 of this rebuild, Jacksonville has a lot of things to fix. Last year we barely made the playoffs, so it's not... You know, I think year 3 all along was when, like, I think we'd have the pieces together. We're going to have another realistic draft class, and we could go target. There's positives. Our defense overall is still really good. Definitely want to shore things up as a run defense. Our offense as a passing offense is very good. Definitely want to shore things up as a passer. But Trevor Lawrence, 3rd in the league in yards, top 5 in touchdowns. You know, if Liam Cohen is brought to Jacksonville with priority number 1 from a roster standpoint of turning around and getting Trevor Lawrence back and playing to a very high level, well, we've certainly at least done that, even though we haven't had, you know, crazy postseason success just yet. The rookie Katron Allen, you know, that's why we don't play running backs. I don't think running backs are ever going to be that prevalent in our scheme. Travis Hunter over 100 catches, 1,400 yards, and 20 touchdowns. We got 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns from Brian Thomas Jr. We have on the defensive side over 100 tackles for Devin Lloyd. No sack record broken, but still playing at an elite level. Hines Allen with 19 sacks, 16.5 from Trayvon Walker, 12 and 3.5 from Peter Woods. Maybe we'll never, I don't want to say maybe, but it'd be cool if like Peter Woods also can jump up there from a sacks production standpoint. We can have 3 guys kind of eat, but not terrible. Olakun led the team with 4 picks, 3 for Jordan Lewis, 2 for Lloyd, 2 for Tyson Campbell. Don't blink now, Trevor Lawrence is starting to get some MVP considerations. Shockingly, down near across the board for rookies is Katron Allen wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'll tell you what, though, maybe that'll be the kick in the ass that he needs. 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. Not brutal, but those are like good RB2 numbers. But he's on that normal dev trade. If that gives him a free dev, that would be huge. We also get O-Lineman of the Year going to Wyatt Millum, part of that very first draft class. That should be sick because that will bring him up to a dev trait lineman. So at the end of the season, maybe no dev trait increase more important than Trevor Lawrence now becoming a superstar, because at 27 years old, it is now or never for it. Strap the Rockets up and get big-time growth and development. Katron Allen goes from normal up to star for winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Millum goes from normal up to star for winning O-Lineman of the Year. And Travis Hunter, I mean, 20 touchdowns. He is an absolute game changer, is now a superstar X Factor, which some may argue he should have been out the gate as a rookie. I think starting out as a superstar is fine. It's fair. On the defensive side, as far as dev traits are concerned, Peter Woods, hidden dev, is a superstar, but needs to start playing like it. If he gets 3.5 sacks again next year, might lose it. We also, had hidden dev on Barham, just a star. Unfortunately, lose the superstar dev on Tyson Campbell, but at least we had a full season worth of superstar development. And still no dev trait for Ransaw. He's playing a lot of snaps. That's rather unfortunate. I'm going to do a little bit of digging on our roster, just see how we can free up some funds. And one is now Walker Little, 78-28. So there's still some meat on the bone there for him as a tackle. We're going to trade him within the division as we send him a 5th round this year, a 5th and 6th round next year, to get a 3rd round pick this year from the Titans and a 4th round pick next year. But more importantly, that gets about $8 million off our books. Freed up a couple million with the offensive lineman. Here's a huge one, Eric Armstead. He's like important locker room, Walter Payton Man of the Year type guy. Not $12 million kind of a locker room presence. So a couple more names, just chop and block, couple million here, couple million there. The only kind of bad contract I think I'll keep is Gabe Davis. He still offers a little bit of juice, even though it's $10 million. I mean, what is the trade market, I suppose? Like, if there's a very interesting trade, if I can get an interesting pick in return for Gabe Davis, maybe I would consider something here. That's not my... Oh, we can get Walker Little back. There's an interesting dilemma. I don't think with our wide receivers we're ever going to really value a tight end, but this is a hell of a tight end free agency class. Kincaid, Tucker Kraft, Darnell Washington's got a dev trait. You got Michael Mayer out there as well, Strange, who we let walk. Oh. It's interesting, but I don't know, man. We might just want to go cheap in the draft. Like, we could still prioritize a tight end, but maybe like first 3, first 4 rounds, and then just get one on a rookie contract. It'd be, $11 million per year, about $11 to $10 million per year for the clear-cut 3rd receiving option. A little pricey. One player I threw an offer on because we did have a lot of money was Brian Branch. We offered him $15 million a year, which I thought was going to be more than anyone else. It didn't even get us on the short list. So we'll take our $90-some million and roll it into next season. So as we go into the 2027 draft class, interesting names for sure. We're not picking anywhere near the top, but we didn't make the playoffs, so that's kind of a win. I would say our needs. We need tight end. We need D-tackle. We could look at corner and safety. Unfortunately, with us having to sit and wait, we're going to be losing out on a lot of those positions, and I don't really feel like trading up. We're currently projecting it at 18. So if we want to just look, we have Jaden Jackson from Oklahoma, first, second round talent. There's a lot of tackles. Mbakwe from Alabama. We got Link, who did not pass the vibes test. Colin Wright, who's a ball hawk from Stanford. Man, Nick Harbor. Nick Harbor will probably do for it right any minute. But I don't know. We'll see how the board goes. You know, as far as like picking right ahead of us, Christian Miller is probably going to be the best D-tackle in the class from Georgia. If we wanted to trade up, it wouldn't probably cost us an arm and leg. We'll just see how the board falls. Jalen Jackson was the top D-tackle that was supposed to follow us. He gone! So, with our needs at tight end, we still have our pick of the litter and trade Dez Green, the 6'7", former basketball player, LSU. But, I mean, there's some solid value there, tight end. And, again, I don't want to prioritize tight end from a contract standpoint. Don't really want to prioritize it from a draft pick standpoint. If we can get one, second round, third round, we might have to. D-tackle. I mean, the good thing is Peter Woods is like 315, so we could go with one of these lighter in the ass D-tackles, like 290, 295, 295. We have Blockton from Auburn, 290. Like, that's kind of a log jam of, like, is there really anything separating these guys? Ooh, B power, A finesse move on David Stone. That is very interesting. I wish I had some scouting done there. Looking at corner, we have Leonard Moore from Notre Dame, Ellis Robinson, Jay Crawford. I mean, there are... I'd be confident taking really anybody in that top 50 at corner. And we have our one scouting come through on a safety, and that is Coy Parrish. I think we trust our scouting here. There's none position there that was like a little bit more than another. And when you have a tiebreaker of getting a guy that's almost a top 10 talent at pick 18, you got to trust your board. That is absolutely not Cooper DeJean. Might have been Cooper DeJean. So how this works is because, hey, I'm in the wild world of PC mods. I think for these two draft classes, like the closest player, like visually, got kind of synced up, which is cool. It's better than having all the generic faces. We have Kilgore. I actually scouted both the top safeties, but I like to continue Ransaw at strong safety in his development. At corner, we still got Des Ricks and DJ McKinley. Des Ricks, B-man, C-zone, 6'1" corner out of A&M. Interesting. What do we have at D-line? D-tack. We still have to, ooh. I think this might need to be. I was in love with the B power A finesse move. I'm gonna buy this stock on David Stone, D tackle, good compliment to Peter Woods. Not a value, but if he has a dev trait, which he does, that'll do. Big time athlete on the interior. All right, third round. I feel like this could be a sweet spot to come and look at a tight end. Now we are blind picking, so I don't really care about run blocking so much. I know the names of some of these guys. Decker DeGraff. I thought he was Washington, Michigan. We have Luke Haj, who was an Arkansas trainer. I mean, everyone just moves around so much. A spec catch on Luke Reynolds. We used him in our last rebuild, so I don't know. Let's just trust our board here. We'll go Max Clare, the Purdue transfer. Took the bag to go to Ohio State. Solid athlete. But again, at this point, I'm kind of going for name value and seeing if we can chase dev traits. 50 in true value at 65, and let's go! We get it again! And then with our second, third round pick, I mean, we are just great opportunity here to run the tables. I do think corner, I don't think the value's going to be there, unfortunately. Best corner, we got Caden Jenkins from Baylor has CC. Jalen Braxton, Ole Miss, has CC. I think the value, unfortunately, kind of drained itself there a little bit. So we need to kind of maybe go BPA at this spot. I don't need a quarterback. Trying to see, like, do I know any of these names? I know some of the quarterbacks, but, like, we don't really need QB. Running back, tight end. We double up on tight end. We can go on the O-line. Cash Cleveland, that's first team all name. I don't know, man. We're in like a really weird spot here. I'm going to pause the draft. And out of curiosity, Let me see some count. Like, who am I not going to be able to resign? We got a lot of money. Like, Brian Thomas is going to get it back. We're going to let Olakun walk, but that's why we drafted Jason Barham, the hidden dev. Cleveland at guard. He's going to walk. We don't have a replacement. So, interior offense, a guard might be our best fit. Gabe Davis, a wide receiver 3 guard. Jordan Lewis at corner. We knew that was probably going to go. Him and Jerry Jones. But the corner market, unfortunately, dried up very quickly. So, I'd say, yeah, guard. Guard, wide receiver. See if we can get a guard, wide receiver rounds 3 and 4. I think we look at guard right now because there's usually a lot of depth. We have Billy Schrouth from Notre Dame, who has C pass block, B run block. Not bad. Ugh. What do we got here at guard? We got BB. Ooh, a BA on Laulolu, who I've used before in the console draft class, but he's a center in that world. But he did have a dev trait in that class. Does he have a dev trait in this? Is it a universal star dev? And can we make it every... damn. With our last money pick of the 4th round, I want to grab a wide receiver. We have A catching on the 6'4", Nick Anderson. What do we have athlete-wise? We have some freaks. Anyone running a 4'2"? 4'3" on a Marion Miller from Colorado. I feel like it's kind of no matter what way you bring down, you're looking at the verts. Miller probably is the best athlete available, and usually that's where I like the de facto. So we'll do that. He ran the fastest 40-yard dash time at the combine. 139 in true value, 114. Not a huge discrepancy. No dev trait, but he's a good athlete and gives us some cover for when we let Gabe Davis walk. To look at our draft recap, football pick going safety in the 1st round, let alone safety with a top 20 pick. However, we trust the board in that situation. 76 dev trade for Coy Barrett. We got 72 David Stone with a dev trade, who's likely going to start this season. We got Max Clare's going to be a day 1 starter in the 3rd round, 73 with a dev trade. Laolu at guard, 72 normal, but there's still some room to grow there. Marion Miller goes speed, wide receiver in the 4th round with a 70 overall. I finished the draft. We get Eli Holstein as a backup quarterback. He's a 68, and we finished with a punter and Ryan Eckley, 71 overall. I mean, almost the entire draft class. So the average of our entire draft class is probably, what, like a 72, 73? You'll take that every single year. And the next year, we're into Madden-generated players where I can draft even better. 10 weeks into year number 3, and we're still not exactly sure what our identity is. We're a decent passing team. We can play solid defense. And that has us below 500. Not too sure what the missing piece... Outside of the fact that we are a very young team that's going to just consistently, as a squad, get a lot better. Because almost everyone is on the right side of 30. But I'm not too sure, man. I kind of want to stay trusting in the old scheme system here. With $121 million. Lewis gone. Olakun gone. Jerry Jones. I think he could be a fine 3rd corner. Mason Smith, just depth. Ezra Cleveland drafted your successor. Gabe Davis, your depth. And then just pay the big dog. Brian Thomas, 5-year, $164 million. I'd pay him more. Honestly, I thought it was going to be more. So at the end of number 3, we're starting to put the pieces together. We get hot in the back end of the season. And we go 11-6. We finish with a top 10 offense. The number 2 passing offense. A top 5 almost across the board. Defense, our run game. Complimentary, but it is an AFC South title, which is always nice to get one. Year 3, again, that's what I said. I was expecting this was about the time that we were going to heat it up. Trevor Lawrence, 2nd in the league in passing, which I'm not going to be honest, it's expected. I've seen Baker Mayfield in the sim, not to expose how bad it works, but I've seen Baker Mayfield get up there, so I assume that Trevor Lawrence would have the opportunity to do so. Just under 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns to 13 picks. It's a good season. Running numbers are, the touchdowns are definitely up. 8 touchdowns from Tootin, 14 from Katron Allen. Not bad. Receiving, we get over 100 catches, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns for Travis Hunter, 4 short of where he was last year. We have over 100 catches for Brian Thomas with 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's been off. The rookie Max Clare, chipping in a little bit. That's nice to see. Defensively, no 100 tackler. Sacks falling down. But I mean, Josh Hines-Allen's getting up there in age, so 13.5 is not brutal. Tron Walker with 10, 6 from Woods, 4 from Stone. So Woods doubled his sacks from a year ago, which I love to see. What's Hines on 30s? Yeah, I mean, it's just he's at his ceiling. Pretty much as good as he's going to get, and at any time, it's probably going to be harsh regression season. Olakun with 3 picks, ageless wonder. Definitely an area that I think I want to improve is the interception numbers. Our lone award winner is a good one as Travis Hunter wins wide receiver of the year. So in our playoff matchup, it's not our first playoff matchup. Remember, year one at 9-8, we found a way to the playoffs. We did lose. I'm pretty sure that was to the Chiefs. But we have a better role this time as we get to take on the Vegas Raiders, who still are very good. They are the number 2 scoring offense, number 2 rushing offense. They got Max Crosby on the defense, but it is a much more favorable role for the Jags to potentially sneak away the victory. And that's exactly what we get. 24/7, our defense shows up. We get both offensive and defensive player of the week. Shout out Hines-Allen, who I kind of washed a little bit. Just saying, oh, I'm washed, am I? Here's a hat trick of sacks as we move a win away from the championship game. 24/7, Trevor Lawrence played a solid game. Run game was kind of non-existent. Brian Thomas, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. We got some plays beyond the line of scrimmage. Look at that, 3.5. Outstanding. And with that, though, our reward is getting to take on the 1 seed in the conference in the 12-5 Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore Ravens. So we're going to show them respect. Auto upgrade, about 4 of our starters there, 4 contributors anyways, and see if that puts us. I mean, from a roster standpoint, maybe slight edge to the Jags right now, but they know how to win. Just playing your best football in overtime. I mean, that's all you can. That's all you can have. Is when it's playoffs, it's over. Our guys are locked in. The regular season, none of our guys getting awards. Don't matter. It's gone. It's a new season. 2-0. Score the most points in the divisional round than anybody else. So I love seeing that. Trevor Lawrence, 4 touchdowns. The Ravens just did not have an answer. Even our run game was on point. A hat trick for Brian Thomas, who's gone nuclear. 5 receiving touchdowns for him right now in this playoff run. 5.5 sacks for Josh Allen in our 2 games. So we have the hottest receiver. We have the hottest edge rusher. And the thing standing between us and a year 3 Super Bowl appearance is Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert. Those goddamn Chargers. Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. They have the number 4 offense, number 1 rush offense, top 10 defense, but I think to a man. Advantage Jacksonville. Can this Cinderella run continue? Yes! Oh, there we go, baby. 20-14 is Katron Allen, last year's surprising offensive rookie of the year. Oh, Jesus, man. I thought we were losing for sure. I'm looking forward to we have to play in the other game, but that's neither here nor there. Let's enjoy how we grinded our way. Neither quarterback played their best game, but we had the advantage from the run game. You know, I like our 1-2 punch more than what they got out of their receivers. And from a defensive standpoint, 8 sacks in 3 games for Josh Hines-Allen, dude. If we win, it's because of him. He's literally taken over all these games. And every single time we've stepped out on the field during this playoff run, our defense has been playing out of their minds. So we're in a very interesting position where we might have the more talented team, but after 2 straight 9-8 seasons, didn't even make the playoffs last year. Making the Super Bowl in year 3 has got to be considered Cinderella, at least in comparison to expectations. I think talent-wise, we have more than enough talent. We got superstar talent. We have as good of a 1-2 punch at wide receiver that exists. We have a team here in Dallas that was just barely made the playoffs 9-8. They're on their own kind of Cinderella run. We all know how cheesy the Cowboys are, so I'm not going to give them that satisfaction. But if our team plays to our level, and we don't let Dallas do cheesy Dallas, like 7 touchdowns from Dak Prescott type bullshit, we might be able to win a Super Bowl, and then years 4 and 5 of this rebuild is, can we make the Jags with Travis Hunter a dynasty? So as it is, Trevor Lawrence versus Dak Prescott, we're at a crossroads here in this rebuild. It's either the silver lining of we made the playoffs year 3. It doesn't go our way. We still have 2 more years to get back to it, and I'm confident we will. If we do win, we have an opportunity to run the table for the last 2 years of this rebuild and try to turn it into a dynasty. We're not going to talk about option 3 of this being the last time we make a Super Bowl for the next 7 seasons, if we got to go all year. But look at that. Trevor Lawrence, immaculate vibes. Our defense has been unstoppable. But at the end of the day, Dallas Cowboys are overpowered in the game, and we could absolutely face that. I hate the fact that it was 4th and 1. We're settling for a field goal. What are we doing? It's the Super Bowl. Let's go for it. Show some nuts. Liam Cohen, Duval. Safety for the Cowboys, 10-9. A weird game, man, and usually weird games do not work into the user's favor. 1-point lead, 3rd and 14 for the Cowboys. They have to settle for a field goal. 3:06 to go. We just have had not a lot of offense. We're kind of grinding away to... Oh, come on. Okay, we're not going to play it. We're going to watch how this game ends. Because if we miss this and settle for a field goal, I guarantee you Dallas is going to score points. But on 3rd, there we go. 7 yards. Katron Allen keeping it on the ground. Dallas has no timeouts. This actually could be awesome. That might have just done it. That might have been the most important play of the season of the video. Boom, we followed up. Let's just chew the clock. Why are we barely chewing clock? Only 10 seconds went off the board there, fellas. 3rd and 7. The loss. Again, clock barely rolling. On 3rd and 7, Okay, clock still... That's fine. This is literally an extra point. You'd be under the assumption that Cam Little is an 83 overall at 25, 94 kick power, 94 accuracy, would be one of the best players in the league. Get the fuck off my team. But it's not all doom and gloom, even though it feels like doom and gloom, as Trevor Lawrence is now a superstar X Factor. So if at any point he could have done this, if we were mapping it out, at 28, getting probably 2 years left of just, he's still going to be going up. That is going to be nice. You might have an opportunity of getting close to a 9. I mean, he's 93, but he has a +7 boost. That inflates his rating quite a bit. We're going to have a couple moving pieces on the O-line. Lau Alu is going to step up at guard. And while there's not a lot of dev traits across our O-line, I feel pretty good with where they're at. I feel pretty good with the offense. Looking at where we might want to spend money, I think it is going to be worth, because we have such good roster, to like keep as much money as possible so we can pay. You know, Travis Hunter's contract is going to be coming up very shortly. Millam's contract, hell of a success story. O-lineman of the year, going to want to pay him. Defensively, Peter Wood's going to need to get paid, right? So, I mean, I'm looking at this thing. We probably want to prioritize corner here a little bit. But outside of that, corner, maybe throw a linebacker in so we have a little bit more depth across the board. Even then, Jack Kaiser could step up in that left outside linebacker role. I'm going to continue to try to develop Ransaw. But at BPAs, I mean, we're going to go DB heavy. And as much as we've tried to grow in development and patient with Ransaw, he's just not going up depth trait. And if there looks like to be like a crazy strong safety in the draft, I think we'd have to pull the trigger there. Ooh, got actually a pretty good... I debatably might need 2 corners long term. Like if that's something we got to go... So I'm going to throw the best offer on Arnold. If it doesn't happen, I'm more than comfortable enough just trying to draft our secondary. But the fact that he's a scheme fit, 25-87 with the dev trait, like the mentality he'd bring. Let's see if we can steal him away. No one wants to come to Jacksonville, huh? Enjoy paying all those taxes, fuckwit. Damn. So I went in and did a little digging for our top 3 kind of focus scout players. Spencer Irons looked interesting because he had the double B man and zone. I'm shocked that this dude's not a first-round talent. B man coverage, B zone coverage, A catching, C tackle, B hit power. He's pretty much good at everything. How is that not... That should have been a first-round talent. I also looked and tried to pick through some corners, and, well... Yeah, we found our guy. We had Derek Jones as a 3-4 round pick just because he had A-zone coverage. Stuck out. He's 6'3". But we got our guy. Ashton Porter's top 5 at a Notre Dame. B-man, B-zone, B-awareness, B-press, B-catch, like that guy. And at 43, I don't think we're going to see a Portis here on the mock draft. Just confirm. He's ours. He's mine. Kind of want to get that safety too, but we're going to start with Portis. No messing around. There's a chance we don't pick him. Dallas ends up picking him. Number 4 in true value at 31. Thanks, NFL. Appreciate you letting that guy fall to us. And we want to move up. I wanted to get a top 5 pick in the second round to grab that safety. So I'm going to trade Ransaw, who that safety I want to come and replace. I throw in Jefferson and Allen, just 2 depth guys that are on rookie contracts. They could offer some value to a Patriots team that's looking to add some depth. I also had obviously give our second round pick, and we had 2 fourth round picks this year. The safety better be good. I just don't know how he can't be. There is nothing about this guy that says average. Combine is not terrible. You'd like to see maybe a faster 40-yard dash, but look at that. Top 3 in the 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle, which are very important. Top 3 in the vertical jump. So pretty much by every measurement, outside of straight line speed, this guy should be a beast. Now, because he's not a burner, might affect the dev trait, but he's got to be good. 59 at 38. Got a dev trait. I can live with that. 88 speed's not slow. Last pick, I want to add some depth at linebacker, and Jerome Gallimore, who has A or B zone coverage, A man coverage, C pursuit, B tackle. And when you look at the combine, elite speed, that worth the gamble here in the 3rd round. Just kind of round out some depth, and holy shit, we got catfished. What? 325? How is that a 63, dude? That is, I couldn't even take another swing. Took another big athlete in Richardson. So I didn't really find the linebacker, but we got the safety, the 2 DBs that we fell in love with. At any time you get the number 4 overall player in the class at 31, you're not going to have any complaints about the draft. But weird draft. Any freaks in this draft? Nah, nothing too crazy. And there we go. They know the Colts feel real good about their top pick at wide receiver, and we got a guy that I think will be able to cancel that out within the division twice a year. Now we start year number 4 after last year's. I mean, we're not even going to talk about that. Last year didn't work out. We made appropriate changes because of how last year didn't work out. This team is now ready to go. Offensively, don't see a weakness. I think we're going to fire on all cylinders. Every single player on this team, even Trevor Lawrence, should be going up and continuing to develop this season, which is going to be huge. Defensively is where I want to see, those types of numbers that we saw. We need Josh Hines-Allen trying to chase down his own record. I'd love to see Travon Walker. I'd love to see this interior get a little bit more after it. I'd love to see interceptions. We've had no turnovers in the secondary of this whole rebuild, and we've invested a 1st-round pick, a 2nd-round pick, a 1st-round pick into that position. Tyson Campbell already got paid. He got a bunch of money. Very expensive. I need to start seeing some goddamn turnovers here in year 4. Now, we're only 2-1, but every week we have had something. Week 1, Travon Walker, Defensive Player of the Week. Week 2, we sweep it. Trevor Lawrence and Jayshon Barham. And then week 3, look at that. 4 sacks, Walker, 5 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence. The Jags are on fire to start year 4. I mean, you lose the way we lost. That is all-time run it back next year with a belt-to-ass mentality every single week to get back there. So on the bye week in year 4, look at all the records. Look at all the rankings. 4-2. Top 10 pretty much everywhere. That's where we need to be. That's where this roster needs to be. That's where this roster should be. Statistically, that's where we need to be at. $112 million. Peter Woods, 5th-year option. We'll figure that out. Kaiser's a starter, but he's just kind of a spot starter. Monheim at center. If we have the funds, I think if we can let's get Tyson Campbell back on a 2-year, keep him for the rest of his prime locked in. I do want to keep him. Okay, we got to pay the big dogs first and see what's left over. So we'll go 4 years for Josh Hines-Allen, Mr. 25 sacks. Travis Hunter, 5-year, 205. He's still not happy with 205? We got to get Millam, homegrown talent, lineman of the year winner. We locked him in for another 3 years. Took us back, man. We have him for 205. He declined it. Took all the way to 215 over 5 seasons, but he's not going anywhere. So we've had kind of copy and paste. Year 1, year 2, same record. Year 3, year 4, same improved record as we go 11-6 and end up winning our 2nd straight AFC South title. Looking at the rankings, everything is very good outside of our pass defense, which I tried to fix best I can. We got Trevor Lawrence, top 3 in yards, just outside the top 5 in touchdowns. I mean, that's kind of what we get at this point. Maybe never good enough to win MVP, but good enough to salvage out his career as a top 10 easy quarterback. We get our first 1,000-yard rushing season to Katron Allen. Ooh, under 1,000 for Brian Thomas is a little annoying, but close to say that that's just a little bit of an off year, and hopefully it's not a trend. Solid out of Claire as well. Using Katron Allen in the backfield more than I was expecting. And then just, of course, Travis Hunter, who is now a member of the 99 Club. Just God mode. Absolute welcome to the church of Travis Hunter. Defensively, Devin Lloyd over 100 tackles. I said I needed to see it. And Josh Hightower reties, re-breaks, however you want to break it, the actual record IRL. 25 sacks for the second time. Trevon Walker with 15, 7 from Peter Woods, 4 picks from the linebacker Barham. My God, dude, our corners. Porter's only gets 1 pick, just a star dev as well. I don't know, maybe we're just always going to be a sacks defense. For award winners, we obviously are going to win Defensive Player of the Year, going to Josh Hines-Allen, and back-to-back Wide Receiver of the Year awards for Travis Hunter. Now the expectations have changed. Last year was a little bit of a Cinderella run. This year, it's redemption tour season. We cannot start by losing the wild card round to a Cleveland Browns team. They got Myles Garrett. As long as we don't let him take the game over, our O-line shows up, our defense will do the rest. Look at that ass-kicking 34-3. I'm going to ignore who we're playing in the second round for a second. Enjoy this one. Absolute domination as we force 2 turnovers. Garrett, I mean, what is that quarterback room for the Browns? Trevor Lawrence played a clean game. Our run game was on point. Brian Thomas killing it defensively. 2 sacks from Walker, a pick from Lloyd, a pick from the rookie Portis, his second on the season. And the Jags are on their way. But a monumental task at hand against the Chiefs in the divisional round. I like to think there's no difference being like home and away. I almost want to pick up like the times that I do beat the Chiefs in the sim. Is there any correlation between being the home team or road team? I mean, if it's the end, we still got 1 more year. It's the Chiefs. There's no shame. But also, if you win this game, there is a new sense of momentum. Like if you can beat Kansas City, you can beat anybody, and it's not even close. Wasn't a dominating effort, but 23-7, our defense is going off. We get both offensive and defensive player of the week. The defensive one, a lot more impressive. It's kind of blocked by the Wickham. Devin Lloyd, 9 tackles, 2 picks, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries, so a whole lot of turnovers. Anytime you can leave a game forcing 3 picks on Patrick Mahomes, who got him? 2 for Devin Lloyd, 1 from, I mean, good luck, man. Just trying to pick on us over the middle. Think I saw not the funnest opponent. I mean, we're going the gauntlet, dude. You got to go on a run. Maybe not the Browns. I think like the ultimate gauntlet where you go wild card and you play the Bengals in the wild card. And then you'd play some form, some combo of the Chiefs and Ravens. But those are the 3 best teams that you're going to find in the AFC. We're on the road every single matchup. We'll show the 12-5 Ravens as much respect as we can by auto-upgrading our players. But a chance, our second straight AFC championship game, to get back to a second straight Super Bowl. You look at it, the tail of the tape. They have Lamar Jackson. We'll give them that. But oh, how the mighty have fallen. 21st rushing offense for Baltimore. Not used to seeing that. There's not a lot special about their team outside of the fact that they have an 89 overall defense. So let's see what happens. Year 4. Oh, it's another just, I mean, I want to be sitting here like, yeah, we are stunting on dudes. Now, we did get a clean sweep back-to-back weeks for Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week. Great showing Trevor Lawrence. Love seeing Stone behind the webcam with a 3-sack performance. But there has to be, like, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to sound underwhelmed with my team who's going back to the Super Bowl. But, like, we aren't, outside of that one, we need that type of performance. Because these close games come down to bullshit missed field goals. Like, these games need to be away and in control. And I don't know if this team can get us there for, you know, the Super Bowl here. 2 picks by Lawrence. Needs to tighten that ship up a little bit. Good showing by Travis Hunter. 3 sacks, David Stone. Hines, Walker getting after it. I mean, it's a good matchup. I think we match up pretty well against the San Francisco 49ers. I'll be surprised if we're not the best team in every category. And we're tied. It's a push. It's a close matchup, though. 87 overall against an 88 overall. We'll see where their rankings go. Usually they're pretty good at defense. I'll be probably top 10 defense. They have number 6 defense. They have a good rushing offense, a consistent offense. How does that make sense? Offensive points per game, we're 10th. They have more and they're 14th. Don't think about it. Let's lock in, baby. Back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Let's not be the Bills 2.0 of the 90s, please. And we got Brock Purdy. against Trevor Lawrence. I don't care about the pageantry. We need a lock-in. This needs to be a convincing win. Opening drive score for the Jags. Defense doing a decent job. Pitching a shutout. Hold them to a field goal in the first half. If we can get some points, even a field goal, I'll be pretty happy with that. Well, just no scoring. 7-3. That is a pretty disgusting scoreline, but this drive here taking up most of the third. We kick a field goal, giving us a touchdown insurance, but San Francisco is applying some pressure, and we are tied 10-10, 3 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. I told you, we're going to get these low-score, ugly games. That's not what you want. 4th and 4. This is the Super Bowl. They are fringe field goal rates. I think my prediction, I've been here before. They're going to kick this. We're going to go to overtime and lose in overtime. That is my official prediction. Lock in! I've been here before. It's my fucking job to be at the mercy of this game in the sim. So predictable, man. Unbelievable. That's the problem with this team, is that these close games that are like, oh, let's appreciate the defense along the ride. When it comes to the Super Bowl, as Trevor Lawrence you get fucked every time. You need to be able to score 30-plus points at will, which we should. 2 straight Super Bowl losses, man. That's unbelievable. As we go into our lockers, not a dev trait upgrade in sight. Both Portis and Irons are 2 hidden devs from the rookie class, are stars. And to start out our offseason, we're going to decline the 5th-year option on Peter Wood so we can give him a big, shiny new contract next season before the price continues to go up. Quick view at the free agents. Not a particularly strong free agent class when most of the best players are kickers and punters. We're good. In this case, I don't know the last time I showed this. When you have your 3 focus scouts, I'm going to kind of show you what I look for at positions of need. I need an off-ball linebacker, so I'm looking at Shaden Flowers is standing out because he is B-zone, B-man. I want a cover player. He gives up a little bit in tackling, but B block shed's not too bad. He's also the fastest linebacker's position, so for a 3rd, 4th round pick, we'll grab that. We need a starting center, so it's almost like free reign. You're going to just take the first guy anyways when it sticks out like that. He might not even be available at pick 19. C, okay, we got a B pass block, B run block. Oh man, both the later round guys have better letter grades. So we're probably not going to be able to get Madigan anyway, so we'll go both Hartman and Meadows. And I bet you we're at least going to get like the return on investment on all those guys. I'd be shocked if the centers aren't both first rounders. That linebacker, kind of a shot in the dark. Got lied to with the linebacker last year I thought was good. Look at that. First, second rounder on both those players. And what do we get on our linebacker here? First, second rounder. So, I mean, not that difficult. Follow the letter grades. Follow the athletes. It works out most of the time. I'm not going to mess around. We are going to select Mr. Hartman up first, the center. And then we'll come back and grab that linebacker in the second round. 35 in true value at 31 with a dev trait. Great athlete as well. 86 acceleration, 91 strength for a barely 300-pounder. And I'd like to welcome Shaden Flowers to kind of round out our base defense. Need that 3rd linebacker to play with Barham and Devin Lloyd. 37 in true value at 63, 90 speed, 90 acceleration with a dev trait. And almost 80 strength for a sub 230-pound linebacker. Very impressive. July 3rd round, my board kind of sucked. I'm going to bring in Meadows, the other first-round center. I mean, he can play guard. We can kick him at one of the guard spots. Another dev trade player. We'll find a spot for him. Draft recap time. Very happy with our picks. We're also able to add well, let's be honest, you can probably tell why I picked Lamar Anderson. 98 acceleration, 93 speed at a USC. A little bit of depth there, but our 2 centers, our hits. Hartman, 74 dev trait, 73 dev trait on Meadows. Not a lot separating the 2. And then Flowers is a 74 with a dev trait. So absolute stellar draft from the Jags at the 2 positions I wanted to add some depth at. Looking at the rest of the class. Ooh, look at that dude. Brett Dixon on the Raiders. Congrats. 6'6", 83 overall with 98 speed, 99 jumping. Jesus Christ. We got to try to... Okay, hopefully we don't see them at any point in the playoffs. That is... I do not have a solution to that problem. Year 5 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and are we the new Buffalo Bills? 2 straight Super Bowl losses, both bullshit. 1, we shanked a 20-some yard field goal. 2, we lost in double overtime. exposing the rules because we both scored and then they got the ball to go score. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bullshit. We've dealt with so much bullshit. We were going to run it back. Our O-line, we got 2 excellent centers. I think we have the best offense in the conference, if not the NFL. Defensively, these guys are elite. We have the best pass rusher in the NFL. We added to make sure our line... I mean, honestly, if we could find a way to get interceptions, it's game over. We might win the whole freak. We might go undefeated. Mid-season of year 5, we are 5-1, and not only 5-1, we just beat the Chiefs 41-14, which makes you feel pretty good. Now, our first offseason rebuild, we did the Cleveland Browns with Shedeur Sanders and everything that they got, Mason Graham. We were unable to win within the first 5 years. Now, we go to overtime in these rebuilds, but you still, to like, I think, officially, successfully get a big, shiny gold check mark for success. You gotta do within 5, man. 5-year rebuild's kind of the norm for a rebuild. And while I try to get every fan base a happy ending when all's said and done, pause, you know, if you don't get it within 5, it does still feel like, you know, that's the magic number. That's what you want to hit. So we really want to, I mean, especially 2 straight Super Bowl losses, but it's so hard to get back to 3. I don't know if I've ever made it to 3 straight. Looking at our contracts, we have Peter Woods. Got to pay him, whatever, 3 years. That is unfortunate. I mean, I was never going to pay the running back, Katron Allen, even though he's developed nicely. Barham would have been awesome to keep, but we just drafted, you know, a pretty talented linebacker. Blake Miller at tackle, there's just no way. So that is, wow, 3 starters that we have 0 chance of extending. So we're going to have to go into the draft looking for these 3 players, these 3 positions. Maybe not linebacker. I feel like you could survive with 2 off-ball linebackers, Devin Lloyd and Flowers, who we just drafted, but we'd definitely have to go look for a tackle and then try to find a running back. That's the kind of response you want to see after 2 straight Super Bowl losses. Number 1 offense, number 1 defense in the NFL. We go 15-2. We're the 1 seed, our 3rd straight AFC South title. Looking at the stats, look at that. Travon Walker, 18 sacks. Josh Hines-Allen got 25 again for the 3rd time in this rebuild. That is absolute insanity. For our passing offense, Trevor Lawrence's best year, 42 touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. We got over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns for Katron Allen. Love to keep him, just can't afford him. Travis Hunter has just got, I mean, it sucks that it's been 2 straight years without 2,000-yard receivers. I think Brian Thomas has, what is he now, 97? I mean, he should be getting 1,000 yards. But, I mean, no complaints. And it's Travis Hunter. I mean, he's the face of this rebuild. For him to play and dominate like that, I'm not going to complain one bit. Love seeing 8 touchdowns as well from Claire at tight end. Defensively, Devin Lloyd, 5 picks, 25.5 sacks. So he broke his own record, officially. Ageless wonder. 18 sacks for Travon Walker, 9 from Peter Woods, 5 from David Stone. And our interceptions are at least a little better than where they were a year ago with our 2 draft picks last year with 5 combined picks on top of Devin Lloyd just crushing it. Wow, runner-up for MVP, Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen gets Coach of the Year. We have Travis Hunter winning Offensive Player of the Year. Josh Hines-Allen winning Defensive Player of the Year. And both those guys also won Wide Receiver and D Lineman of the Year. Collecting all the hardware. Last season, we were road dogs. Went on and just won on the road. Now we're going to be the favorites. I wonder if we're going to be able to handle that pressure. I mean, just, we should easily win the Super Bowl this year. This team is a super team. Of course, we'd have to take on the Chiefs, who we beat by 30 points in the regular season. Let's appreciate the first win over the Broncos. Our 3rd straight AFC Championship game, 31-20. That's closer than what you'd like, to be honest with you. And our defense, that is number 1, did not show up against Bo Nix to get 4 touchdowns, no picks, but a good showing for Trevor Lawrence. Travis Hunter with a hat trick. Defensively, though, they did a good job negating everything defense. But you know what? The last 2 years, we've lost in the Super Bowl because I don't think our offense was on point. Our defense was playing at a high level. I'll take the inverse of that for once. Maybe that's the different winning combination that we need, is we need to make the Super Bowl run with our offense and not our defense. But we have the 11-6 Chiefs, who have the number 1 passing attack in the league, a top 10 offense as far as points scored. And even though pretty much every measurable category we are the better team, that's the same can be said for everything. It's Chiefs. And this would suck because this would be our 2nd straight offseason rebuild that we don't get it done in 5 years. Oh, I'm not even going to bitch and moan there. Look at that. Twice In one season, we beat the Chiefs 5 times. It's the inverse. Our offense is showing up. Let's go. That's what we need, man. I need a team that can, if we're going to choke and let the other team score 21 in the fourth like you see in the sim, our team like, all right, we'll still get 14. We're not going to set up shop. 5 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence out-dueling Patrick Mahomes. Hunter was on it. Miller. I mean, Thomas has just had kind of a weird year. Defense, they don't care. Don't care. We're all offense all the time, all gas, no breaks. We got the 3 seed 10-7 Rams, who are pretty good offensively in their own right. But please, fellas, come on. Get this one. This team, we've done everything right. This team is a lot more overpowered than where our Browns team was in our first offseason rebuild. Get this done in 5, man. Let's have an authentic, successful rebuild. You know what? We're going to go throwback. Maybe that's why the vibes are off. We're going to go with the All Blacks. It's the Rams' funeral. Come on, man. Can't do... Oh, no. They have Arch Manning. That's why. See the Rams here. Okay. Hey, I'll embrace a shootout. If a shootout's what you want in the battle of the number 16s, our team is ready. We have callous of defeat. And not only defeat, crushing defeats in this game. I think it's going to give us an advantage. Now we settle for a field goal opening drive. We fumble. Oh, no. Okay, it's not looking... Come on. Going to halftime with a 17-14. A safety. We get no points in the red zone. We somehow get a fucking safety out of it. What are we doing here, fellas? Wake up! Stop embarrassing me. Up 3 in the 4th. Kill the game. Oh, of course we can't kill the game off. Like, we all know what's going to happen. Yes! Yes! Oh, my God. Why does it, I mean, I want to say, why does this Jags team suck so much in the Super Bowl, but also our defense has been awesome every Super Bowl. We've not had an out-of-control game, not had a game where the other team just unstoppable up and down the field. Our offense, Trevor Lawrence, not a big game quarterback. We kind of know this. We kind of know the vibes, but he still finds a way to have the confetti fall. And in year 5 with Liam Cohen, Duval. Hoist that shit, baby. Let's go, man. Super Bowl MVP. Let's pick it right now. Could be Trevor Lawrence, 230 yards. He did throw the pick. Travis Hunter, touchdown. Defensively. Man, that is still bizarre that our defense was so dominant the last 2 years. And then this year it's been non-existent. Yeah, you probably would end up giving the MVP to Trevor Lawrence. Congrats. So with that being a successful rebuild, as we always like to do, let's take a look at our player stats and what they're able to achieve during this time. And Trevor Lawrence is just over 33,000 yards passing, 240 touchdowns, still in double-digit interceptions for his career. Absolutely turned it around, developed into an X factor, and the Liam Cohen head coach hire worked out to perfection. Kaytron Allen, we never had a dominant run game, but he got better down the stretch. Happy with that draft pick. He was, what, like a 3rd-round pick? 3,600 yards, 40 touchdowns. I'll take that complimentary play. In 5 seasons, Travis Hunter averaged about 100 catches a year, literally by 1 short. Almost 7,000 yards and 84 touchdowns. Travis Hunter well on his way to becoming an NFL Hall of Famer. 5,600 yards, 37 touchdowns for Brian Thomas. So he's averaging just under 1,000 a year. But an absolute beast. Great 1-2 punch. Defensively, Devin Lloyd, 600 tackles. We got 153 sacks for Josh Hines-Allen, but 3 different times he got 25 sacks in this rebuild. And a machine. 83.5 sacks for Trevon Walker, who he was absolutely worth like re-signing and keeping and developing, where I think a lot of Jags fans in real life, you're still not sure. You don't know what you got there. Woods was awesome. I mean, we crushed the draft, which is certainly a big reason why we were able to turn this around. We had our year 2 draft. We got what? Honestly, our first draft with the realistic players. Peter Woods, dev trade. Blake Miller at tackle, dev trade. Jaysean Barham at linebacker, dev trade. Kaytron Allen developed into a top 10 running back for us. 2nd draft class. Coy Parrish, safety, dev trade. David Stone, dev trade. Max Clare, tight end, dev trade. And then we didn't have one kind of down period. Because every now and again, especially once we get to like the Madden generated classes, you can have a stinker. And I mean, I usually will still hit on players like, and my stinker by my standards would be like I drafted a couple guys in the 70s, but no depth trade. So limited ceilings. Did not have that happen here in Jacksonville. So there you go, fellas. There is your offseason Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild with Travis Hunter and the rest of the draft class. What I need you guys to do in the comment section below is let me know what should be our third offseason rebuild team. Seen a lot of Giants, and I think obviously the Giants are very interesting, but they're kind of a popular team. There's other Giant rebuilds out there. I think I saw Jerome PKR drop once. Go check that out. Go support the homie. But if that's what you guys want to see next in the Giants, let me know. If there's any other team that you think super interesting, let me know. Is there any other team that maybe didn't do what you want to see during the draft, and we can rely on some of these realistic draft classes in 2026, 2027? I've already seen someone suggest Lenore Sellers on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That could be a great landing spot. That could be pretty fun. But I will take any and all suggestions in the comment section below. Please fire away. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Helps out the channel, helps out the video with the YouTube robots in the algorithm. That's all I ask for in return. It's just to help push my content to somehow people that aren't aware that I exist in the Madden space for 10 years in. I'd be very much appreciative if we can fight back with these robots. But that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.